it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today we are on Simple Stamping Saturday, so one of my favourite days of the week because I get to show how to turn a simple stamping project into something more involved through 2 stages. I'm using this week the Comfort and Hope stamp set. This is in the new catalogue and it's on page, if my memory serves, 88. Let me grab my catalogue, which I can now show you the inside of. Yes, it's on page 88 and it's under the Love, Thanks and Support section. So at the front of the catalogue, you will see that we've got these colour-coded areas. So we've got All Occasion, which is in Bumblebee, Love, Thanks and Support in Just Jade, Kids and Babies in Magenta Madness, Birthday is in Misty Moonlight, and Artistic Expression is in Cinnamon Cider. So, Love, Thanks and Support, and I love this set. This is actually a set I earned for free, so I didn't have to pay for it. I hit a sales target that was issued, it was a challenge that was issued to all demonstrators earlier in the year, and because I hit it, it meant I got to add this to my last order without having to pay for it, which is always good fun. But it's a lovely little sentiment. The main sentiment is obviously comfort and hope, but we've also got know that I love and care about you, sending you a paper hug, which I love, and sometimes there are no words, ... But it's got texture, it's got nice sentiments, it's just got a lot going for it, and it's a nice smallish set, which I think sometimes for new stampers is a good idea. This is the project that I've put together. I'm using for a change, I normally err on the side of Whisper White, but this one I thought would work really nicely in the warmer tone, so I've used Very Vanilla. Stamped on the envelope because it's Simple Stamping Saturday, we can't have naked envelopes. So this is the sample that I've made and I'm now going to show you how to make it. So I have my note card and my envelope. I always like to make sure I've got my envelope the right way up. I have been known to get it the wrong way up even on camera. I'm using 2 ink pads, which are Sahara Sand and Soft Suede. Soft Suede is a colour I use so much. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a favourite colour, but it is one that I find really useful because you can get lots of tones from it, but it's also not too dark, not too light. It's a really good mid colour. I'll be interested once I've... Ooh, stray piece of card. I'll be interested once I've got my hands on Cinnamon Cider to see how... the ink, I've got the card, but to see how that works with Soft Suede. I have got, if I reach across my colours, I don't think I compared it with Soft Suede actually, thinking about it. No, because it is quite a bit more orange. But let me find Soft Suede card and show that with Cinnamon Cider. So this is Soft Suede card. And you can see Cinnamon Cider is quite a lot, it's further on the orange scale. So yes, it'll be interesting to see how that works in various tones, how it works, you know, stamped off. So yes, it may become my new go-to. Who knows? So these are the 2 ink pads I'm using and I am going to be stamping off. So I need a piece of scrap paper so I can stamp off. This is the fold of the card. I always stamp card when it's flat. It is so much easier than trying to stamp on something that's floating in the breeze. So actually no, I'm going to start with the sentiment. Because the sentiment in this is quite low down, I want to make sure that that is in place before I put everything else on. So first thing to do is to ink it up. The right way up is always a plan, and just check that it's well inked, which it is. And then I want it towards the edge and not totally to the bottom because I want to add one tiny little stamp at the bottom. So we go down, hold for a moment, and come straight up, and you get a nice crisp finish. Then the next thing I'm going to do is add the twine. I had a moment there where I thought I might be doing something else next, but no, I'm going to add the twine. And it's this sort of swirly, it's almost like it's thread that's been swirled round. We don't have metallic thread anymore, that retired. So this is almost, you know, the next best thing. So I'm inking that up in Sahara sand and then stamping off. So just literally go down and up. And then I'm going to pop that so that it's again towards the edge and down towards the Comfort and Hope, and just stamp that. Particularly important to hold your stamp down when you've stamped off, because there is less ink on your stamp, so you want to make sure you've given it a chance to transfer across, and that has. I will need, actually I might as well redo that on the envelope now while I've got it around. So bring in your envelope, and again I'm just going to stamp off and come in towards the bottom. I'm going to turn it around a wee bit so that I've got this solid element on the on the envelope, and everything else is off. And there we go. And then next, do I need this again? Yes, I do. So next I'm going to put in the small sequins. These are sequins. They're amazing. I'll show you when I've added them. And particularly when I add the larger ones. Actually, I want to go that way round, I think. And just, this is full strength. And don't press too hard because you will lose some of the definition if you do. And I'm actually using soft suede on the outside for these. So now I can come in with my soft suede, ink up my fir cones, make sure it's fully inked again, and I'm coming again down into the area that's got the and just hold it there so that we know that it's going to transfer across, which it has. And while I've got it out, I'm going to repeat that on the envelope, and I'm going to come a little bit further down. I'm going to come off the edge of the card. I want this more into the middle of the gap. Not totally, just a little bit more. Like that. So that's that used. And then all I need to do is add my final effects. So I've got the large sequins here, which I am going to stamp off once, and then come in and just fill in this little gap here. And again, I'm not pushing too hard because we want a nice impression. And can you see that that looks remarkably like a sequin or a rhinestone, something like that? And then the smaller ones, I know I haven't cleaned this stamp since I put it in the Sahara sand. It's okay. Sahara sand is a lot lighter than soft suede. And again, I'm going to stamp off and come in here. So I've got my little cluster of threes, which if you know me, I love a good cluster of threes. And then for the envelope, I'm going to again stamp off and come in and fill in this gap here. Like that. So that is my envelope and my card done. So I'm going to close my ink pads before I do something stupid like put a fist in them. Has been known. And get rid of my scrap paper. So the next thing I need to do is just fold my card. So line up the top, and with a bone folder, I know I keep going on about bone folders, but they make such a difference to a nice crisp fold on your card. If you want it to be really well folded, both sides. And that is our little card with its matching envelope. So really sweet. Masculine, feminine, it works both ways. So that's that simple version. And then I've got, of course, a more casual version. So for this one, I've done basically the same layout. I have added the neutral pack of cardstock, as well as separate Very Vanilla. I've stamped this on a separate piece of Very Vanilla and then fussy cut it. And this is just on little strips of vanilla and soft suede. And then on the inside, I've just got the twirl of thread. So that's that one. And then this is my more avid version. So I've added texture to the Very Vanilla. I don't know if you can see that. It's the new 3D embossing folder, and it's the Tasteful Textile, and it's like a tweed weave, a loose tweed weave. Really lovely, and it's a good addition. It's more fabric than the subtle embossing folder. It's definitely got that more fabricy feel. This is actually the reverse side, which just gets more of a sort of texture. If you have it the other way up, then you get more of a fabric feel. And then I've added, again, stamped off. Before I embossed, I added the parquet flooring, and again, stamped off, stamped, stamped off, stamped. Then I heat embossed the little sequin dots, heat embossed the fir cones. This uses our lovely new label punch, which is fantastic. So I've got 3/4 of an inch and an inch on my label. And for the twine, I've actually got linen thread, which I've separated into 2 strands. Our linen thread, which has carried over, will separate into 2 really lovely thin strands. So I've just used those for my swirl and hidden the ends underneath. I stuck it down with tear and tape, just tiny little bits of tear and tape, which I then swirled it all round on. And again, I've got the stamped swirl on the inside. So those are our 3 versions. So we've got the quick, simple, easy. Just because it's simple doesn't mean that someone who does more avid crafting wouldn't do it. It's just something that's really quick to put together, not too complicated, and is, you know, a go-to, get it done, get it in the post. Then stepped up a little bit for those who have got more supplies and a few more techniques. Fussy cutting is a brilliant technique to get your head round. It does take a bit of practice, but once you've got it, it's a dream. And then adding a bit more in the way of technique and more product for the avid version. So I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, I love this stamp set. It's just, it's got everything for me, but particularly all these lovely textures which you can just go to town with. So I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe give it a go. If you've got any questions or comments, you can always leave those below. There's a link below to my website where I will have some close-up photos and all that good stuff, the dimensions, both in North American letter and in international A4 sizes. I'll have a list of the products I've used and all that good stuff. So have a little hop over there. If you don't already subscribe, you can do by hitting the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. I'm challenging myself to get 9,000 subscribers by the end of the month, which is going to be a real ask because I need about 500. But, you know, set yourself a challenge, and if you don't hit it, at least you've tried. So that is my challenge to myself, is to get some more subscribers. So thank you very much indeed for joining me today. If you've enjoyed it, as I say, give it a thumbs up. Do go and have a look at the close-up photos, and I will look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thanks a lot for watching.